So why, or should we be doing Facebook Reels? So firstly, Reels are short, entertaining videos that allow you to express creativity and bring your brand to life. Okay, Facebook Reels can only be done on a mobile. Even my VA who was writing up my email for me, I always get them to check their links. And she kept clicking on the link going, it's not opening. It says that there's the link is broken. And I said, because you're checking on the desktop and you can't open a real link on your on a desktop, it has to actually be only on a mobile. So if you tried to open or click that link on a desktop, you wouldn't have been able to open it. But if you went to your mobile and read your email, you would have been able to click into it and open that reel. So it's important to know that. You can share.
Can I ask quickly, can you open on iPad?
Oh, good question. Try. Open up my email from this morning that says Facebook Reels, and there's a link to click into Jodie's reel and have a look at that and see, let us know. It depends on devices, so I don't know. It also depends on whether or not it's an Apple or if it's an Android. Like there's so many things to take into account. So you can turn on a setting.
Say one thing about the doing a reel from your business Facebook page. So Jodie, when you go into say your business Facebook page, where it's got create a post, underneath it, it's got photo, create a story, reel.
There. So it says create a post and then reel. I should let me just turn my mirror off. No, not that.
Now we can see it though.
Yeah, it's just backwards. So I'm just going to turn the thing off so that it's not backwards. There we go. So you can see reel. So create a post and that's reel and that's on your page. So that's a good point. A lot of people, whenever you go to do a reel, and if you're doing it off the front page of Facebook, so that's what people do. So that's Facebook World. And there it says reel over there. And it says create a reel over there. If you do it from there, that's on your personal profile. You have to go into your business page, go to create a post, and then you can create the reel from there.
Thank you. Now, should I repurpose?
Listen to what I'm going to say today, and then you decide. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's one of those rashes. I'm not sure if you can get it viral again. So in settings, you can allow it to a reel to automatically share through to from Instagram to Facebook. So if you create it on Facebook, you can allow it to go through to Facebook. All you've got to do is go to your settings. So you click the 3 lines at the top right-hand side, click settings, go to settings, click privacy, and then it says recommend on Facebook, and you have to turn that on. And then when you create a reel on Instagram, it will ask you if you want to then share it to Facebook. That is if your Facebook and Instagram are obviously joined. So the next thing is, you know what I'm always going to say, respect the audience and platform. Who your people are on Instagram may not be the people on Facebook. So you might go, yep, I'm just going to flick it there, but it may sit less well on that platform because it's not your audience. But then you might just be doing it for consistency. So yes, you're repurposing. Yes, it's for consistency, but to do it more strategically, it would be better for you to consider who your audience on that platform is and who are the people on your page, who are the people on your Instagram page, because they're not going to be the same people, because then the content needs to be specific to those people. If it is on a page, it is public. However, if it is on your personal profile, it is public, but you can also make it to friends only. It also depends on your Facebook page, whether or not you have the classic look or whether or not you have the new look. Where you find reels is going to be in a different place, because I was reading some of the forums and some people were saying, well, it's supposed to be here, but it's not there. So if I've just said to you, that's where to find it, and I've just shown you on my phone, you may go in and it may be in a different place because you have a different look. So why use Reels? Well, right now, and I don't want to step on Jody's poor toes, but the reason it is doing so well is because it's new to Facebook. So some people haven't realized that they can go into Instagram and flick it across to Facebook. So they don't know about that setting, or they don't know about the Facebook Reels setting. So that means there's very little in the feed right now, which means your chance of your content coming up is a lot greater. And that's what happened with Instagram Reels when it first came out. So right now, no one's doing it. So if you did go and do it, you could go viral. All right. And I'm going to give you some of the strategies around how to do that strategically today as well. It basically increases your chance of your reach. And it also means there's less competition out there for you right now. So what content should you use? Well, it needs to engage your buyer and on that particular platform that you're on. And it has to feel comfortable to you. If you are awkward, I mean, Jody looks completely natural when she does her stuff, but if you look like a dork, that's actually not going to be great for your brand. So don't do something that you're not comfortable doing. Just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean you need to be doing it. I think it does need to sit well with you and your brand. And if that means you going and recording yourself and you know, doing some off Reels first to get a little bit more comfortable in front of your audience, then that's fine. If you're an introvert, well, then don't use pictures of yourself. Rather just use pictures of other things and video other things. You know, for example, if less pest, termites, if Ryan wasn't comfortable doing Facebook Lives or doing Reels and he wasn't comfortable in front of a camera, then he could literally go and just video ants and do the ants go marching 2 by 2, hurrah, hurrah, and put the song inside it. You know, it doesn't mean he's got to go in and start singing if that's not what he's comfortable doing. You know, there's always another way. And that's what I'm talking about this Friday at Kelly's networking event there's an introvert strategy and there's an extrovert strategy. You don't need to fall into someone else's strategy. It could actually potentially ruin your brand. So when you're thinking of the type of content to create, you want to think of your content bucket, all right? You've all got a content bucket. You all know what's inside your bucket, but it really is important. And I was doing some research over the weekend to not be general and fluffy. A stranger within a couple of seconds has to completely know who you are, who this is for, and what you're actually selling. You have more chance of sitting well and getting a better result if that's the case. If you're general and fluffy and people don't know what you're doing, it's not going to work. They're going to scroll past you and then you're never going to come past you again. So niche inside a niche is really important. Your points of difference is really important. Sharing your expertise or showing your buyers you're interested in what they're interested in. Things like your mission statements so that you become forefront of mind, key messages, and it needs to have the same brand and feel visually, but also from a tone perspective as well. Have the same feel. And I can't say it enough. It has to have a strategy. You've got to have the end in mind and go, well, what's the next step? So, you know, when Jody said to me, I've got all these followers and all these shares and, you know, all these extra, she's made more personal friends, but, you know, what was the missing thing? And the missing thing was, I think she did 3 steps or 4 steps. It was the final step, which is like, well, if you need help with this shit, like I'm your girl, like I can help you with, if you suffer with mum guilt, then I can help talk you through that. Like I can help work you through that. So there needs to have that call to action at the end. Let's have it, because that way you'll make sure that you actually get the right people. You know, it doesn't matter if you're getting the wrong people. I did the stat last week, and it's something like on TikTok, the biggest audience on North American females between the ages of 18 and 25 is like, takes up about 60% of who's on TikTok. So if that's not your audience, or if they're liking or following or sharing you because they find you funny, doesn't mean you're going to get more customers. So you've got to go, well, is that worth the time and energy? So you can create these in Canva. You can go into Canva and you can create these reels in Canva, and sizing is all there ready for you to do. And then you can simply upload them into reels. But research tells us, and there are theories that say, when you don't do it organically and you upload from somewhere else, you're then interfering with the organic algorithm and you're less likely to get the reach. So therefore, users are getting more reach if they go in like Jody did and actually create the content on their phone in Facebook and share it. You'll get more reach than if you had to upload it.
I actually create my, oh, sorry, I turned my video. I've just
There you
got people here. I actually create my content because it's easy in TikTok. And then I download the TikTok and remove the watermark through a website. And it then basically is saved to my camera roll. And then I repurpose that onto Facebook Reels and Instagram. Well, Instagram, and then it feeds over to Facebook.
Yeah, awesome. So right now, I mean, and she had a post that went viral. Was that one of the TikTok repurposed ones?
Yeah.
So I'm predicting that if you continue to do that and people jump on the Facebook Reel wagon, your content won't be highlighted anymore. It will start to go back because they have got AI that are picking up repurposed content from other platforms. They don't mind so much from Instagram and Facebook because they're owned by the same company, but TikTok is a competitor. So as soon as you go from a competitor's platform,
even without the watermark?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
According to the research that I've done over the weekend, that is what they're saying.
Okay, cool.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It does make sense. Why would they allow they want organic, relevant content on their profiles. So they will reward you if you do it through their platforms, but test and measure that, right? So you can create in Canva, then you can upload it through your phone. That's the way I like to do it. The most I've ever had is 3,000 views. So, you know, it hasn't gone viral. Test and measure it though. But that's my easy way because I find it really clunky on a phone to go and upload multiple videos and do it. But that's what all the kids are doing now, all the young folk. So yes, 100% what Jody said, you can repurpose the content. So save your videos, but you can also use them not just on other platforms. Don't forget, you can send them out in your emails as a top tip because you can upload those videos into your emails. When you do that, I do recommend that you have the video open up in the email and don't have the video open outside of the email unless you have put all the important content up the top first. So you would have noticed with Jody's one, I had it down at the bottom to click into the link, and I said all the important stuff at the top first, because when people click, if it opens in another browser, they're going to now go into Facebook with her one, and now they're in Facebook Reels. They're going to forget to come back and read my important message and follow my call to action. So try and have it that it opens up in the platform. So time and effort. At the end of the day, is it worth the time and the effort to do it? You've got to work out whether or not it's going to be part of your strategy and if it's relevant to your audience and if it was worth the time. However, if you enjoy it, do it. I was talking to another client the other day and they were saying they don't get any clients through networking, but they love getting out from behind their desk and going. And I said, well, if that's your strategy and you enjoy that, then that's okay too. But you've just got to work out what % of that are you going to do. So if you go to networking groups, 10 times a week, that's not going to be beneficial. So you've also got to make sure that whatever the strategy you have is that you actually enjoy it. But if you're enjoying it so much, and Jody loves to be in front of the camera and going and doing these things, and it doesn't actually have the reward of generating clients, you need to maybe put a percentage on it and go, you know what, I'm only going to do this 20% because that's my enjoyment factor, but I'm not going to make it my 80% because it's not actually generating leads. So it may be good to consider that. And someone like Jane, like Mrs. Red, same with her, she's got to make sure that she's not drawing so much, but she's actually generating customers from the drawing and the artwork. The time and the effort, it does come down again to that call to action. So on Instagram, the call to action is click the bio. You've got to make sure that on Instagram, they're going to click the bio. And when they click the bio, it actually takes them to what you were talking about. So if you were talking about, I don't know, a free resource on your website, it would be better for you to have that free resource on your website in the link in the bio on Instagram, rather than them go to your website and start fishing around. If that's your strategy, to give them that free resource and collect their email address to later remarket to them. All right. So you have to consider, if you're sending them to the bio, what's the best link to send. However, On Facebook, it's not a bio. So if you repurpose if you allow your Instagram reel to go across to Facebook and you go links in the bio, where are they going to go? Because there's no bio. There's no bio. So on your Facebook personal profile, there's the bio up at the top. So you could change the link there. But on Facebook, it's not a bio. They've got to click the learn more button. So you've got to make sure that whatever button you've got activated on your page is the right call to action for that. So this is where the disconnect between Facebook and Instagram comes in. So if you were to repurpose the Instagram one to Facebook, I would not say the word bio. I would say click the link at the top of the page, because there's a top of a page at Instagram and there's a top of a page at Facebook. So I would have a more general call to action that's relevant to both. If not, then what? Well, test, measure, review, and check your insights and see what's working or not working. Tweak it, look at your demographic, monitor things like, are you getting more followers? Are you getting more engagement? Are you getting more likes to your page? That's the only true measure of whether or not it's actually working or not. And then make it a strategic decision based on those metrics. Whatever you do, you've got to make sure that it is profitable. And whatever you do, you've got to make sure that you're doing it properly. So in order to get the most out of it, it is important that you use all the effects in Reels. They have those effects in there because that's what they want people to be using. But not only that, it gives the algorithm metrics so that they can put the right people in front of your reel. When it comes to the algorithm, it comes down to relevancy. So it's really important that the content that you post with the reel and what the reel is about and all the effects that you use is relevant to your customer, and you've made that clear in your reel, because then Facebook can determine what audience they're going to show your stuff to. I've already said that you can set it from public to friends if you're using your personal profile, but it is public on your pages. The next thing that you can expect is that you will be able to share them to your stories. And again, when that feature comes in, so when the feature comes in that you can share your reel to a story, you have to consider what the call to action is then on the story and where that story is, because there can't be disconnect. You will notice at the end of the day that there are ads. Facebook are placing ads in banners on the reels. So when we go back to it, we go, well, Facebook's a business. They want to make money. Why did they start Facebook Reels? They didn't do it because they wanted you to play on Facebook. They did it because they wanted to be able to advertise to you more and make more money and get more ad spend. So you will start to notice ads in Reels, in trending Reels. You will also notice that there is an option for paid stars, and basically influencers or people that have got great content on a consistent basis, they will actually give you a paid stars sort of ability, which means that you can actually donate to those creators and sponsor them, and that's how they make their money. So keep an eye out for that as well. That will encourage more influencers to utilize the features and the product a lot more. So who of you know Jay Shetty? Jay Shetty, have you seen him before? I don't know if you know this about Jay Shetty. When Facebook paid advertising came out, they actually wanted to have more coaches using paid advertising. So they took Jay Shetty and gave him free reign, and they actually halted all other coaches in the field and slowed it down and made him do so exceptionally well on paid advertising and launched his business, so that other coaches went, well, I want to be like that. So they started putting money into their coaching businesses. They took a handful of influencers, and one of them was Jay Shetty. So that's a true story. If you Google it, you'll come up with some of the true story. Just shows you the power that they have, though. So the people are being seen are the people that they want to be seen, so they can make money from it. So don't be so hard on yourself. All right, so what is your process? when creating a reel. Number one is have a strategy. What is your overall strategy? What is the end result? What is your campaign? What are you trying to promote? Who are you trying to promote it to? What do you want them to do? So you've got to brain dump the heck out of that first before going and doing a reel. You don't just get up and start dancing in front of the camera. Number two is you then go and either live shoot the content into Facebook Reels or go and create video content or upload video content into your reel. You're then going to consider the reel as a story. Stories work really well. It needs to include emotion and it needs to be client and outcome focused and valuable to the customer. You could also considering hopping on another trend. So for example, I suggested to Damien, Shane Warne right now is doing really well. It's very topical. So maybe repurposing some of his mindset strategies right now. It could be a good example to then get people to sign up to his webinar that he has coming up around stress. Then you've got to add the features. So once you've done the video, you then got to go and add the features. And I always say the more, the better, but you obviously have got to do it tastefully. So you want to add text, and it's important to note that the algorithm slows down if it is too text heavy. So it has to be short and to the point. And this is why knowing your key messaging is really important. You could use the drawing tool. So maybe you want to use a signature every time you do it, or, you know, if you're an artist, maybe that's something you could do, is just add that little flair to it. That drawing tool. You want to add stickers. So for example, things like little GIFs. You want to include filters. So when you swipe left to right, all your filters will come through. And again, that could be something part of your, if you have a filter, keep that filter. So for example, if sepia is your filter, then all your reels will be in sepia because that's your brand feel. You then want to include audio. So when it comes to audio, you can include the audio that they already have. And again, you want to try to choose something that is relevant to your audience, relevant to the story and the campaign and what you're doing, but then also relevant to your brand as well. Or you could use a voiceover, and the voiceover feature is pretty cool because you literally could narrate your reel, which I think is super, super awesome to be able to do. And you can consider things like transitions with your speed. You can make things faster, slow, and include transitions as well. The last thing you want to do is make sure that it is shoppable, meaning that you can add product tags to it. So when it comes to your reel, the entire time the reel is going through, it could have a product tag, which could take them straight to the product that you're selling. It's a little bit harder for people in the service-based industries because getting us approved in Facebook shop is really difficult. But if it is an actual product that you have and Facebook has allowed you to set it up in their Facebook shop, you can product tag that item. So that's awesome because that takes them straight to that item to purchase. And again, you would say, click this product tag. The last one then is having a call to action. What is the next step that you want them to take? And we discussed that earlier. Do you want them to click the link at the top? Do you want them just to like your page? Do you want them to subscribe on the website to stay up to date with new launches or other webinars? You know, consider what the next step is and make it super easy for them. The size of it, if you are uploading or going into Canva, is a 9:16 size, which is a 1080 pixel and a 1920 pixel. Canva already has that, or you can actually put those measurements in. So sometimes platforms change, and when platforms change, all you do is literally go to Google and go, what's the pixel for Facebook Reels in 2022? It will give you the measurements, and if you've got Canva Pro, you can put the measurements in and use it and still use their templates. You want to make sure that you are recording in portrait mode, so it is vertical, it is upright. So looking at the algorithm, these were just some of the things that that I just wanted to reiterate, is that it does deprioritizes content that has been recycled from other platforms like Canva and TikTok. It also does deprioritize images that are too text heavy. If there's more text than there is image, like in paid advertising. It also deprioritizes if you have borders on there, so like black and white borders, and if your images are low quality or blurry. Once again, that call to action or that hook is super important, and it's incredibly important. I shared in our VIP Facebook group, I shared a link to a reel on, it was an Instagram reel on how to get more views on your Instagram reel by changing a setting. And I shared it inside there. So if you go in and click, it's an Instagram reel, so it should show on a desktop as well. But the lady at the end doesn't say, and it's a fabulous, it has gone viral. There's heaps of views, and I've even shared it with you because she shows you how to simply click this one button in settings and get more views on your Instagram. But at the end, she doesn't say her name again, just like in a networking group when you pitch, you say your name again at the end. And she didn't say subscribe to my channel or follow me here or download this. So the reality is I probably will never see her again unless she comes up in my feed again. So it is important to have that next step. I cannot say it enough. The final part of this is that I wanted to share is that it really is important not to be general or fluffy, and to make sure that it clearly says who you are and who you're helping and what that next step is. It's super important. A stranger must know straight away who this is for. But not only that, it helps the algorithm. And so really, really stay focused on that. And if you are getting them to click to your bio or your bio on Instagram or your page on Facebook, it's important that your bio is not outdated and actually relates to what you're sending them to, as well as your Facebook banner. Your Facebook banner needs to be in alignment with what you're talking about. That's really important. And as I said, the last thing I wanted to share was the hashtags. On Instagram, 3 to 5 hashtags for a reel is the going amount. It helps Instagram decide what audience it's going to put you in front of, because it matches according to what people are interested in and what you're sharing. But on Facebook, hashtags are not really like a used thing right now. Like it does, users don't use it as much as they do on Instagram. Instagram, it's all about users using the hashtags. On Facebook, they're there, but users don't seem to use it. So whether or not you use hashtags, I'm not sure. I would say you're going to have to test and measure it and see what works or doesn't work. And it potentially could change based on right now who's using, how many users are on Facebook Reels right now, because it will change. As soon as people jump on the Facebook Reel, your reach will be less.